Okay, I know I'm about a couple days past the year this movie came out to do the review. It took me a while to put this together. In all honesty, I think One Battle After Another is a surprisingly really good film. I mean, I remember when the trailer was coming out and I saw the trailer and I was just kind of like, yeah, I love DiCaprio. I love Benicio del Toro. I like Tiana Taylor enough. Love Regina Hall. And Paul Thomas Anderson, I mean, he's a legendary director at this point, right? And I just wasn't intrigued by the trailer, but I was more intrigued by what the hell was going on with DiCaprio. So realizing this movie is about a revolution or a revolution that's like in hiding and are about to be hunted down, it was interesting to see where DiCaprio stood, where he was just the retired revolutionary in hiding with his daughter, and Sean Penn, who was hunting them years ago, is trying to find them based off of incidents that happened in the past. Now, for me, I think it's a little strange that this movie went the route that it did because the revolution didn't really feel like it was important after a while. It just seemed like it was more always brought up. The secret code language and all that other stuff was mentioned, and but they were more so on the run, so it makes sense. Maybe the revolution didn't matter, but I was expecting like a full blown revolution versus the government type of thing at the end. That's not what happens, and that's not always the worst thing, but you would expect for something like this. This might be like a last straw. They really can't get away from this. So I do want to say the first half hour or 45 minutes of the film, Tiana Taylor does a fantastic job. Tiana Taylor does a fantastic job. Leonardo DiCaprio is DiCaprio. He makes acting look easy. Like DiCaprio shows up on set, he's like, "I'm gonna do this lines. I'm out, bro." Like that's how I feel sometimes because he's just that good of an actor. DiCaprio is one of my favorites. So watching this, I like the fact that DiCaprio kind of got to be funny. It's rare when he gets to be funny, and it's like actually funny. Like he was surprisingly a good amount of comedy relief with some drama thrown in because you don't get DiCaprio and not have him be serious in some scenes. So that's wonderful to watch, and it's still wonderful to watch all these years. But to see him actually be funny is pretty damn interesting. It's actually really good. Didn't think he could do it, but he's really good at funny. Tiana Taylor's really good at commanding the room in certain scenes too. I was like, man, this girl's good. Like she might be nominated for this. I don't know. We'll see. Because she's really only in the first bunch of the movie, but that first bunch is pivotal to the story going forward. Sean Penn, though, he might have my favorite performance in the movie because he just felt like a character that was just in another film somewhere, but he was so good at it. He was so interesting and so fun to watch and crazy and just unhinged, but he was fun. And I will say, shout out to Chase Infinity. I don't think this is her first thing, but if it is, she's impressive. I don't think her performance is dynamic as the others, but she does do a good job. And even some people who show up throughout the film, like Regina Hall, some other people show up, like everyone does a good job in this movie. Now, as far as my like love for the film, I don't think I love it as much as everyone else, but I do think it's a good movie, and that's okay. You know what I mean? And I don't think it should sweep the Oscars. Like the fact that it's winning as many awards over some other movies from 2025 is kind of what's bothering me because I'm like, look, cinematically, it is beautiful. I do think the soundtrack is great, especially that track where it's like effing Tom Cruise or something like that, and it's like a sampling the Wicked Witch of the West music. Never heard a soundtrack like that before in a movie, and I gotta say, A plus. I really like the way that sounds. It sounds so cool. I actually just listened to it today because I really like the way it sounds. It just like the movie all in all. So I'd say for cinematography, if it's nominated, I understand. For directing, because Paul Thomas Anderson directed the hell out of this movie, so I will also give him that as far as just yeah, he's really good. Also, did I forget my man Benicio? My bad. Benicio del Toro also awesome. Like he just is clearly enjoying himself the whole time, but he's also doing a really good job. So let's not forget about my man Benicio for like 2 seconds because like he was also really good. So like I said, the performances are great, but like, does this movie really need to sweep the Oscars? I really hope it doesn't because I don't think it should. Like I don't think this should win Best Picture. And I think that's the unpopular opinion, but I wouldn't be me if I was trying to do this to make everyone happy. I just don't know if this is like best picture. Maybe I should watch it again. Maybe there's stuff I missed. Maybe there's some things, but it's 2 hours and 40 plus minutes long. It's a long movie. And to get to where to how we start, which is real cool, revolutionary stuff, taking over places, locking people down, trying to get the money, da 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 da. Tiana Taylor's character is going off the deep end after the pregnancy, and all these other things happen. But to go from where we are to get to the point where things start to happen and the way the movie ends, I'm just like, this is way too happy for something like this. And that's not saying I want everything to end dark, but this is the type of movie where the ending should not have been, okay, that's it, we're done. Now, what I will throw in for the ending is that final car chase sequence. It's so shot well, and I think it's based off of an older movie that shot something like this before. But they shot it in a way where you kind of felt like you were driving. And then there's that build up to that surprise part that happens, and you just have nothing to do but just sit there and go, "Oh, that was cool. I actually really like that. Really nice way of using the environment around you." So that is just some A plus smarts and some A plus creativity. But outside of that, like I said, the end of the film, just like it kind of bothered me, but not enough to make me hate the movie. But I was just kind of like, wow, they ended this surprisingly happily, which I was not expecting to happen. I thought this movie was going to go a completely different route. And also, I just want to throw in the fact that the idea that Paul Thomas Anderson spent what upward of like 150 million producing this movie. I don't think this movie should have cost that much. Like honestly, if this movie would have cost like 60 million less, it probably would have been successful. Like if this was more on the cheaper side, like most of his movies are, this would have been way more successful. But box office wise, it would make like 260, two something at the box office, but the budget's like 150 million. So it's unfortunately a box office crash because it didn't really do what it needed to do. So that's unfortunate. Yeah. Oh, 205 million. Ooh. I don't even think 60 million less would have helped it. But that's really unfortunate because it's a good movie. It deserved to be successful at the box office. But the unfortunate reality is it just costs too much. So yeah, reportedly 130 to 175, which is even worse if it costs 175, which means it would have had to have made over 300 million to break even. But the unfortunate reality is that yeah, it was just too expensive, and you could tell it was expensive. You can look at that movie and be like, yeah, this cost some money in certain scenes, but that's unfortunate because for Leonardo DiCaprio and Paul Thomas Anderson to finally get to do a movie together since DiCaprio didn't do Boogie Nights, it's like damn. But this is still a sign that cinema makers and people who work in film are not afraid to do something new and original like one battle after another. So I still say for originality, I really like the originality of the film. So let's just go with that because I'm glad he wasn't afraid to put something like this out and see what happens. Like we still need movies like this. We still need some originality, some freshness to the screen. And I think that's probably why people really like it. It does feel like a fresh movie. And sometimes that's a bad thing if it doesn't do the money it needs to do, or sometimes it's a bad thing if it's boring and it's ass. So, one better another is not ass by any stretch, and it's definitely not a boring movie. It definitely keeps you guessing and thinking and laughing at the same time. So by that means, yeah, One Battle Another is a good movie. But well, let's get the conversation started down below. Let me know how y'all feel about it in the comment section. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all on the next one.